welcome back to the grand finals here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 128. But before the finals, we have something special here. We almost forgot, Pat. We almost forgot. But we have something special. It is time for La Rifa. Let's go. It is going to be raffle time. For those that are unaware, for those that maybe are newer to the channel and newer to our tournaments, we do have something special here. We have the random raffle. This is a random participation raffle for all the players that did compete this week. And this week we had BAM. This week we have... Oh, momento, there we go. We have 22 eligible players for the random raffle. 5 USD is going to go to a random player. They could have been knocked out in the first round, or they could even be a finalist here. It could go to either one. And here we go. This week, bam. This week, congratulations to Perceive for winning the random raffle. GG, well played. Congratulations to Perceive. Perceive, of course, a South Korean Terran / Protoss player. Fun fact, he actually took a map off of herO earlier. If you recall, he did take a map off of herO earlier in the tournaments, but now it is time for the grand finals, and I'm ready for some 4-player spawn maps. Let's go. Spawning in the right hand corner of Exarch, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our best of 5 grand finals. Very quickly here again, the Sparkling Tuna Cup is a tournament that has been running for many years. It has been running longer than, say, the Wardy TV Mondays or the Pigastar Cups or KSL or Monday Night Weeklies. It is the longest running open cup out there in StarCraft 2. The ESL Open Cups would have been lasting longer, or Lima League if that had continued, of course, as well. But currently, the Tuna Cup has been the longest standing open cup out there. And if you want to help support it, you can do so via Patreon. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund this tournament on a regular basis. I did see some people earlier praising some Micro from herO watching his POV. Replay packs are provided to all of our subscribers and all of our patrons as well. So you can help support on Patreon, and you will be able to gain some value there with replay packs from tournaments that we have permission to share. Tournaments like Kung Fu Cup, Tuna Cup, Rongi Cup, and many other events as well. Otherwise, welcome to Exarch. Exarch is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom right, bottom left, top right, and top left as well. 4 possible spawn locations. Now, for those of you that weren't here for the judging stream for TLMC, I do recommend the VODs. For those who don't know, I was one of the judges for this season of the Team Liquid map contest, and there was a lot of maps. So there was a lot of maps to get through, a lot of maps to go through. Fun fact, for those that are unaware, when it comes to the kind of maps that we saw, as we do have a worker path full of speed zones to be able to scout. He keeps the probe alive. Oh no, be careful. No, the probe. He does scout though. He does scout. He does confirm. Throws down the pylon even as well to be as annoying as possible. But we do have some worker paths across the top side, left side, and bottom side of the map as well. Basically, we have these worker paths and these monorail systems going to every corner of the map. This does help when it comes to scouting. This does mean that you can scout faster, and that does take away some of the RNG factor of a 4-player spawn map. But what I was about to say here, if you missed out on the judging streams, is that fun fact, as the Reaper pops off, Jesus, gets one room. We didn't get a singular 3-player spawn map submitted this season. I know that we had Mothership. Mothership is in this map pool, of course, in the current ladder map pool, and before that we had the previous map as well. We had Last Fantasy. But fun fact, we didn't have a single 3-player spawn map submitted this season, but we did have like 5 different 4-player spawn maps. We had so many 4-player spawn maps. We had Fear and Faith, we had Exarch, we had like 3 others as well. We had the Old Sun Temple, and we had 2 others that their names are slipping my mind. But again, we did go over all of them in the TLMC, and a good amount of them actually made it into the top 16 as well, which was surprising. Exarch is one of them. So when it comes to Exarch itself, one of the big features, as you did notice, is the speed zones, these worker paths that do go all across the map. This is a Diablo inspired map. You can see there, the Diablo heaven aesthetic. I was gonna say Oriole, I guess. Nice catch. Catching out 2 stalkers already. 2 stalkers do get caught out. Some of the other features, we do have the high ground main base. We have the also high ground natural as well. It is on the high ground, but as you can see, one of the unique features of this map is this is a reverse map. The mineral patches are actually aiming towards the entrance, so a much more unique kind of setup here as the ramp leads in towards the mineral line. So even pushing and applying pressure here does threaten the economy. We do have mineral paths and worker paths coming down on the right and top side to expand and to claim our 4 bases. When it comes to this map specifically, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bases in each corner of the map, and there is extra bases in the center. The center bases are very exposed though. I'll be honest, I don't really see many people expanding in the center of the map, but ByuN is going for his early tank push. If you remember, he did this against Classic. So he's going for his early tank move out. Stalkers, they attempt to engage. Nice KDA charge. Oh my god. Yeah, getting 1, 2 extra volleys off. Massive KDA charge there from ByuN. That did disrupt the volley. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. The boys are being pulled. Probes will be going down. Getting up to 4, getting up to almost 5 probe kills. Lock on the Stalker. There's the NG overcharge. Stalker still goes down. And this is too much. Wow, this is just far too much damage already. This is game-ending damage. And I wanted to sink my teeth into Exarch. We finally got here. We finally got into a 4-player small map, but this is critical damage. 18 probes. And shout out to the MVP Reaper, by the way. If it wasn't for that Reaper, this would have been a much cleaner defense, but GG gets called and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Winding it back, if you recall, when it came to that push, ByuN, that KDA charge actually disrupted the volley. So if you remember, herO, he engaged on top of the tank. He sent a massive volley off as well. Because of the KDA charge, that disrupted the attack of 3 stalkers. 3 stalkers, they got knocked up into the air, and that means that the tank lasted longer than it should have. It got 2 extra volleys off. 2 extra volleys off on the stalkers, which is huge, by the way. The tank does so much DPS, and if it wasn't for those 2 extra volleys, there's a chance there that herO holds, he defends, and the game continues. But again, like 3 of those stalkers, they were thrown up in the air. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting into game number 2, and we're going to be loading into another 4-player small map. We just spoke about it, but we had a good amount of 4-player small maps submitted here in the TLMC, and a good amount of them made it into the top 16. And here we have another different 4-player small map. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Sun Temple, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran. The Blue Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. As herO scouting top right, because welcome to another 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, or bottom right instead. So 4 possible spawn locations. herO, he's looking for his opponent. This time there is no monorail system. There are no like aqueducts that are connecting each corner of the map. Instead, we have speed zones. As you can see here, we have a plethora of speed zones in the center. This does make it faster to go for cross scouting. We can see that herO is scouting horizontally though, and herO, he will eventually find ByuN. So herO will find him. ByuN is being greedy. ByuN doesn't scout whatsoever. ByuN going for a double gas opener. Double gas opener into a factory. As herO does find him. Now, when it comes to other features of this map, I will say that this map is much more defensive and does allow for longer and later games. Why is that? Well, if you recall Exarch, the previous map, very much so had its own corner of 4 bases, and getting a 5th base on Exarch would be quite difficult. You spread yourself very, very thin. On this map, we have our natural, we have our low ground 4th base, which only has the 1 entrance into the 4th, oh, sorry, low ground 3rd, I should say. We have the 3rd base on the right hand side, which is on the high ground, with also only 1 entrance, which is a ramp as well. As you can see, they're pretty defendable. Your initial 3 and 4 bases are very defendable, and you can see here that the other corner of the map is right next to you. Like your expansions are very, very close. You're expanding towards your opponent. When it comes to these corner expansions, things can get quite awkward and quite difficult if we have like horizontal spawns, if we have close spawns, but we don't. We have diagonal spawns here instead. So a very long rush distance by ground. plenty of bases, plenty of expansions. This map and this current setup is built for the late game. We'll see if we can get there, as there are a lot of bases to take, and they're relatively straightforward to expand to. Here we go. For now, again, double gas opener into a faster factory, into a reactor Reaper Hellion opener. Much more aggressive start. Remember, the goal here for reactor Reaper Hellion is to deal economic damage, is to get across the map, to bust into the mineral lines, and to find some probe kills. Meanwhile, ByuN is still looking. He just true. He's still looking for his opponent. He doesn't know. Just catching up. Doesn't stream a lot, or does not? Yeah. A lot of the Koreans, they have started streaming on Soup. Streaming more on Soup, I should say. As here comes Reaper Hellion. Again, the goal here is to bust into the natural. Here's in position. He's got his battery behind this. Does have his battery. Likewise, Stalkers in the main as well. And so far, here is secure. And he's throwing down extra gateways. Okay, getting up to a 3-gate setup. So 3-gate blink into the robo. Relatively safe play by herO. I don't blame him after that last game. Very safe. ByuN behind this, going for his tank production, but is going Raven before medevac, I believe. Yes. So Raven's going to be built to harass. ByuN looking for another way in. He perks, he prods, he rotates. And again, I feel like this map does kind of lean towards longer games. We'll see how aggressive ByuN is going to be here as he's building up towards Stim. Stim, eBay, herO claims his third. Again, high ground third base, very safe, very secure. The fourth base as well, just limited attack options, attack paths. Of course, drop play is going to be difficult to keep up with, as there's going to be a lot of angles to attack or of attack. Nice catch on the Reaper. herO trying to keep up. Oh, nice catch. Catching on one of the Hellions, catching on the second Hellion as well. Yeah, the Hellions, the Reapers. Here he does take map control away from ByuN. ByuN is going to be contained. And behind this, herO is just macroing up. Double forge, double upgrades. The goal here for herO should just be contain his opponents, maintain map control, take a fourth base, and now produce. Until then, herO doesn't get behind the mineral line. Doesn't get behind the gases. Observer moves in. Nice snipe on the observer. Keen eyes at a ByuN. And ByuN, he's building up towards a pretty hefty move out here. Okay. Catching a Stalker, not bad. ByuN does give chase. Behind this, no third CC yet. Rushing through the speed zones. Bleeding out more Marines. Again, nice pick up by herO. As herO's slowing this down. Losing into the 6 probes. All right, that was to the auto turrets. Not bad here. Yes, 6 kills on the Raven. Catching out 6 workers. Elbow shot doesn't quite get in. Oh. Ooh, we'll lose the full medevac. Yeah, brutal loss for ByuN. herO now claiming his own 4th base, at the same time going for a stellar run by. Will punish the CC on location. Oh no, he'll force a cancel. Massive pickup. Ay. Does force a cancel. ByuN contained on 2 bases. And a massive delay on the 3rd. As ByuN is forced back home. herO now switching into disruptors. Likewise building up his tech into a Templar Archives. Allows for Storm or just Archon production. Still calming down. And once again, even though like we've had some rough losses here for ByuN in regards to the 3rd base, he's under no threat of dying yet. But the concern here, of course, is that herO is now free to saturate. Right? He's free to saturate, get his 4th fully operational, get further ahead, and be the first to max out. It's going to be up to ByuN to find some damage here and try to punish. Let's get spotted by the Zealots. This map is massive. It is huge. It's a huge map. So was Exarch. Do I think many Terrans like to macro versus toss? There are some that enjoy it more than others, or some that are willing to do it more than others. I would say that ByuN is one of those players that is very unwilling to embrace the late game. I look at players like Clem, like Cure, like Maru. Specifically, I think Maru and Clem, they're a lot more willing to slow the game down, to turtle up and to build up into Ghost Liberator Viking. ByuN, he likes to be active. He wants to be active, he wants to be aggressive, he wants to go for drops. ByuN typically thrives in the mid game. Nice up the Prism. Prism goes down. Prism does fall. Tank gets caught. Yeah, Tank is going to get caught out. So far, nice kiting here by ByuN. Does kite away. Poison over, pulls back. Just trading with the army. No major losses here for herO. Once again, ByuN has to be careful. Fully walls that off. Okay. Limits the attack pods. ByuN has to get the hell out of there. Does want to get caught out by the speed zones. Knocks down more towers. And we race back. We race back. 4th base on location. herO, he's maxed. As I mentioned previously, herO, he was going to be the first player to max out. To gain map control, to mass expand. And it's on ByuN to keep up with the rotations. To turtle up back at home. And we're lacking that so far. We're lacking SimCity. We're lacking Liberators. ByuN isn't there yet. And herO is. herO, he wants that 4th. He's going to force a cancel. There he goes up. Ooh, does connect with the Ghosts. That's 4 Ghosts getting low, and the Ghosts are going down. Yeah, the Ghosts are going down. Colossus does fall. And we dive on the main army, and ByuN is just being completely overwhelmed here. Yeah, losing everything. GG gets called, and herO fights back. herO ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very decisive blow there from herO. Two big P moments, of course. herO denying the third base and herO, of course, punishing the fourth. As he mentioned, because of the third going down earlier, it meant that herO was going to be the first to max. The first to max out, the first to build up that army. And alas, ByuN, he was not quite able to keep up himself. We saw that he did miss the rotation, wasn't ready on the high ground. It couldn't stop the army from pushing up into the fourth base. And from there, it did snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are embracing, we have a series, we have a back and forth here, we have a series, and I'm curious, are there any maps we haven't featured yet today? Let's double check. I'm looking at the map pool. So we've casted plenty of Eternity's Edge. We had like 2 games on Blackrock, we had 1 game on Exarch, we had a couple of games on Lockdown, we had like 2 games on Lockdown, 1 on Lumen, the Old Sun Temple. We have yet to experience a single game on Rorschach. True. That's the one map that we haven't experienced, which makes sense. Rorschach is a much more controversial map, much more controversial. For those that don't recall, Rorschach is a smaller map. It's closer by ground, closer by air. Sorry, I should say. It's a horizontal map, but Rorschach features a healing pad. There's a healing pad in the center of the map, right outside of the forward third base. So it's a very, very impactful healing pad that does benefit aggression. And it's I would say it's a very experimental map, very, very experimental. I'm very much so on the fence as to how powerful that healing pad is on Rorschach, but we'll see. We have yet to experience a map on it. We've yet to see it. For now, though, spawning in the right hand corner of Verdant Temple, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Hello. As ByuN does veer off towards the left-hand side and is coming in for the eBay block. So again, he avoided the main scouting pattern. Comes in for the eBay. It's gonna be a oh, you see the pylon sees the eBay. Okay, let's go. That's something you don't see too often. That's a nice feature, is what I will say. Very nice feature. Boys are pulled. eBay is gonna be focused down, and herO should be able to expand. But yeah, the pylon, the high ground pylon sees the natural base. Let's go, Larry, let's go. Again, typically you don't really have a forward natural base setup like this. This does protect the main. Yo, meanwhile, a big shout out to Kashim. God, Kashim. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 31 months, papi. Ay, share, papi, share. Janky, papi, janky. Thank you. Long time supporter and a pillar of the StarCraft scene. Kashim contributing quite a bit to the Wikipedia, of course, to Ligulac, to Polish events as well. Kashim. Gracias. Meanwhile, ByuN going back and falling on what he does best. 3-rack stim timing here out of ByuN, going for initially an economic opener, single gas, racks expand into a second and third racks, into a heavy stim and combat shields timing. This can lead into an all-in, otherwise this can be just a hyper aggressive build leading into the mid game. Regardless, aggression nonetheless. He will hit that sim timing. It's going to be up to herO to scout what's going on, to figure out what's happening, and to react and to respond. Ideally, against this, you do want to be hyper aggressive yourself to chip away at the army, to slow it down. Picking away and getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marine kills is actually pretty huge, and actually is going to be quite impactful when it comes to taking away the strength of this move out. So it's about engaging ahead of time. It's about taking it seriously, of course, and not being overly greedy. Can potentially take up into a faster Colossus, into faster splash damage. As a hallucination confirms all 3 Raxes. Okay. Does confirm. Nice scat out of herO. Behind this, Twilight Council into... Whoa, hold on. Before I get ahead of myself. Early Forge. So my apologies. That was a gate. A gate expand into Cybercore into early Forge into early +1 before the Twilight Council. This has to be for charge, right? You often don't rush into +1 armor unless you're going to charge lots. There it is. Charge is on the way. The reasoning for this is because armor is ideal against for melee units against a unit that has a high attack rate. Speaking of Marines, Marines have a very high rate of fire. What that means is they attack often. They attack often, and because they attack so often, I mean, the armor upgrade does apply to every single attack. It does benefit the HP pool and the defensive course of the initial of any kind of gateway units, of Zealots particularly, as their goal is to get on top of the Marines. So it is to make him that much more tankier, to survive, to collapse on the army. Zealots, they already do a lot of damage to Marines to begin with. We don't need like attack upgrades or anything like that. Not this early on. Behind this, going for Temple Archives. This should be for Storm. This should be for Storm. As we're waiting for ByuN's move out, Stim is almost done. You can see that we have the rescout here ensuring that ByuN is still at home. The army is still being held back. Should be moving out soon. Meanwhile, there's that gateway explosion. Charge is now done. It's going to be Mass Zealot here for herO. And herO, he wants ByuN to be aggressive. He wants him to move out. Charge is revealed. Ooh, boys being pulled. Yeah, big reaction out of ByuN. Massive reaction. CC is denied. Here he thinks about it. It does think about it. From here's rotating. I assumed that we were going to be rushing to early Storm, but no. There is no Storm, just Archons. ByuN is moving out with his double drop. As he moves out, Zealots are moving in. They open up the natural. Once again, boys are being pulled. Nice choke point by the Archons. Oh, they do make use of the choke point against ByuN. That's 8 SCVs going down. herO still reinforcing. Trying to move in. Once again, though, better positioning for ByuN. Better positioning. ByuN does re-wall. Storm now begins. I do feel like this is a little bit late, but herO, he wasn't aware as to how aggressive ByuN was going to be. Was not aware. herO still rotating. At this point, herO cannot engage head on. Like, his army is just a little bit too small here. Doesn't have enough Zealots, enough charge slots. ByuN going for a massive committed push. I mean, his third is not saturated at all. we just send it, Pappy. Let's go. Going for the Doom drop. This is it. Do we base trade? Do we base trade? Storm is finishing. Oh, Storm is going to be done in time. Going for the feedback. No Storm. Temple Archives goes down. Massive pickup. No more Head Templar. At the same time, herO does bust into the natural. Nice Sim City, though. Oh, the Storms. Oh, yeah. Massive Storm for the army. Kills everything. 21 SCV kills critical damage. The choke point working against ByuN. But Gate was being depowered. Yeah, Gate was being depowered. Ooh, Storm is zoning. High Templar gets started down. Nice focus firing. Ooh, but he does stand in the Storms. Okay, he stands in. Here he busts down that front door. Breaks into the main. ByuN saving what he can. But herO has mining. Here he still has mining going on. herO throwing down more production, more pylons. He will let him to reinforce. And who we favor here? Okay, quickly looking at the armies. God, that's 21 Marines, 11 Marauders. That's a decent bio army here for ByuN. I do think that when it comes to a base trade, he is at the advantage in regards to his DPS output, killing all these buildings. I do think that ByuN is going to be faster, but in a head-on fight, it comes down to the storms, right? It comes down to the storms. There's 2 Eye Templar. They're going to have 1 storm each. Storms will be huge. herO turns around and looks like herO wants to engage. Yeah, it looks like herO wants to fight. I say that ByuN still has production and he still has orbitals. He's muling. ByuN still has an economy as well. ByuN's moving in. Had Templar a little bit late. And herO's early. Yeah, herO does engage a little bit too early. Nice storm. That was only 1. Ooh, panic second storm though. Yeah, panic storm. There's the NG overcharge. He's got another storm available. That's too beefy. Yeah, there's just too many Marauders. Too many Marauders, too many Medivacs. See if we can just tank the storm. And with that, ByuN has done it. ByuN, he has broken the main army, breaks on through, and there's nothing left. herO supply blocked. He cannot warp in. herO has a massive bank, by the way. But herO, he cannot spend it. He cannot spend it. The boys evacuate towards bottom right. But the problem here is that it takes so long to not just build up the bases here, the production, but also to warp in. And herO, he just burned through his bank. He had 1,000 minerals. He just spent his money here. Yep, GG gets called. And ByuN, he will take game number 3. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN, he does take a lead in the series. Again, herO, he had potential with those storms, but really that's all that he had, right? He just had such a small army in comparison to ByuN. He was only reliant on those storms. Again, ByuN, his army was tanky enough to just tank the storms. Like he was very Marauder heavy. He just could take the storms to the face, keep on pushing, rush on in. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into game number 4. ByuN is 1 game away from claiming the series. herO needs 1 game to force the ace match. Personally, regardless of how this goes, I'd love the game 5. I'd love an ace match. Bring us here to game 5. But again, the pressure's on herO. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Lockdown, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. Here comes the mule BS again. Bearing in mind that the mules had no factor in that game. Yes, ByuN, he still had an economy because of mules, but that was not influential when it came to the outcome. ByuN just had a massive army to work with. He had a heavy Marauder count. So even though there were a couple of storms available for herO, I mean, some of the storms were lackluster and were a little bit of a panic kind of reaction from herO. But also, like, ByuN, he could just tank it, right? He could just tank the storms and rush in anyway. herO's main army wasn't quite built up large enough to deal with ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. So getting into game number 4. Welcome to Lockdown. Lockdown is one of the larger maps of the map pool. Larger map and with some interesting quirks as well. It does have a relatively, I mean, I will say the third base location is a little bit wider. The entrance here between the bases looks quite accessible, but you can knock down these towers. These are destructible towers, so you can actually fully wall this area off. So if you're up against a 2-base solo that's pushing here towards the natural expansion, you can knock down those towers, wall this off, and buy time. So bear that in mind. I don't know if the players are aware that there's a tower here. Again, this is like the first time the players are playing on this map. So there's a lot of little quirks that I'm sure have to be explored a little bit more first. But now double gas. Double gas opener, faster factory out of ByuN once again. Has been quite fond of this. Storm is doing nowadays. It's possible that CyberJohn maybe hasn't watched too many games. Storm can be very, very impactful. It is a very different tool compared to what it once was. But there are many Protoss players, many, if not most, if not all top Protoss players favor the current Storm compared to its previous iteration. Referring to players like Classic, herO, Showtime, Max. It just has a different role. What I would say is that the new Storm is better against Zerg. It's worse against Terran in certain instances. The reasoning for that is because the Terran army is a little bit faster when it comes to engaging and pouncing on a Protoss force. So because of that, you can get through the Storms with minimal damage. Not quite the same when it comes to Zerg compositions. And likewise, when up against a Zerg player, Protoss players are more prone to turtling up and defending. Where here in TVP, they're fighting for map control. So it's a different dynamic. Here we go. Here we go. Behind this extra gate with Jesus. Building up into a 3-gate setup. So 3-gate blink. So 3-gate blink is a very safe play here by herO. Meanwhile, with the initial double gas opener, we're going for our 1-1-1 setup here. We have no Banshee play. No Banshee play, opening up Raven. Raven, early Cyclone into tank production. So again, fast tank production here out of ByuN. With his more tank heavy start. Sorry, with his more tech heavy start. Ooh, nice catch. Nice catch out of ByuN. Picking up a Stalker. As we go to Stalker, we do have hero's third base of choice. It's going to be going for the linear third. It's going to be on the high ground. It's going to be much more defendable, of course, as well. And it can turn into a launch pad to push across the map. Cyclone gets caught. Now, what we're going to be waiting for here is how many tanks do we build up? Remember, it was early tank production, 2 tanks so far, and then add-on swap. Okay, so there's no third or fourth tank. We're cutting tanks at 2 into more ByuN instead. Building up into ByuN. And likewise, herO is going for his Bay, working towards Colossi. Very safe, very standard play here by herO. Blink into charge into Colossus. There's no like hyper fast forges, no hyper fast forges into upgrades. Not this time. Likewise, no Stargate opener either. See, that's when it's supposed to be a mass murder. I mean, the storms were crazy. Those are the storms at the natural. The natural ByuN last game. Oh. As herO does actually find a way in. The Emerald goes down. A little bit too late to deny stim, but will deny combat shields. This is nice damage. At the same time, though, ByuN is pushing. ByuN is moving out with everything. That's why there's an opening across the map. Tanks are getting within range. Ooh, Zealots get shut down. And hero's caught with his pants down. The pants are down. The pylon! The Artosis pylon goes down. The Colossus as well. And hero's completely out of position. He's racing back home to defend. He's trying to get back. The pants are down, Bobby, completely. Yeah, the pants are down. Gateway is depowered. He's trying to repower. That's going to be 19 probe kills. That's game ending. That's game ending damage here. Again, ByuN just sent it across the map. herO was out of position. He was not ready. That's 25 kills. Now this will be cleaned up. This army will be cleaned up. Saves the tanks. Nice save here by ByuN. Does pull away. And again, if herO had seen this coming, we spoke earlier, like, this is a tower that you can knock down to fully wall this area off. Like, you can turn this into a very defensive position, but I'll be honest, there's a very high chance that herO doesn't even know that this tower exists. There's a very high chance doesn't even know about it. Aye. That's the thing with these newer maps. As ByuN pulls away, and ByuN has a massive lead. It's a massive lead from here. Claiming his third, building up his army. And there's no pressure. Like, ByuN can just chill. Like, there's no pressure on ByuN to push out. He can just chill, calm down, claim his third. And just cruise from here. When it comes to herO, he's either going to go all in or be hyper greedy. One or the other. Here comes the second wave already. We pushing through. This time we weave our way towards a third. herO's trying to keep up, but again, the numbers just are not there. Down to 3 sentries, 1 Colossus. The mines, they pop up against the Zealots. All the Zealots go down. Expansion as well. And again, herO cannot defend against this. He just cannot defend. There was game-ending damage dealt earlier. Nice Zealot run by. Catching SCVs, catching reinforcements. Getting a very nice run by. We need more than that there. We need... ByuN turns around. Okay. And he turns around. Races back home. So here he does buy some time. But again, here he doesn't have a third. There's no third base. So ByuN still has a very comfortable lead. What does it take to recover in this kind of game state? More Zealot run-bys. If we can pull off more Zealot run-bys, and if we can force ByuN to turn back around, 2-3 different times, if the SCV count is low enough, then maybe herO can recover and build up a comparable army. These head-on fights are scary. Uh-oh. herO's posturing. Force fields a zone away. Here he has to back off. Second Robo into Mass Disruptor. As we mentioned in the previous series, actually, Disruptors are a way to recover in this kind of game. But you are relying on your opponent making mistakes. There's no other zones. There is a second over available. Soon to be a third. And there's a melee zoning. No major connections. ByuN is pushing in. Oh. Oh, we blink in. Oh no! He blinks into the minefield. Crazy. Yeah, mine shots go off. They punish the Stalkers. Tank volleys as well. And now ByuN, he can just stim. He can just stim and he can win. Gets on top of the Colossus. Disruptors go down as well. And with that, we have our... Oh, and with that, we have our... Despite all the Protoss players, despite Classic, despite herO, despite our top 2 seeds of the tournament, ByuN, he pops off. He breaks the expansion. Takes down the third. Stimming in towards the natural. We got 2 Disruptors on the way. We got some Copium Novas coming. Let's go. Novas, they pop off. They connect with nothing. That's it, GG. GG gets called. And ByuN, he's going to be this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. ByuN, he will claim the series. Once again, I want to say that Game 3 and Game 4 were similar in their own way, where ByuN was able to catch herO with his pants down and catch him out of position. In Game 3, we saw that led into a base trade, where both players had comparable armies, and we ended up in a weird base trade, which did barely go in favor of ByuN. In Game number 4 here, there was no base trade. herO turned around, but he was out of position, right? He was completely out of position. He missed the army. He was across the map, and he was exposed, right? ByuN, he just walked into the natural. He just walked into the natural, killed the Artosis pylon, sniped the Colossus as it popped out as well, and that was game. That was game then and there. The game continued, but that was herO limping along. As we mentioned, it was herO limping along, and there was a very slim chance of him finding damage. It's two things. It's either herO is hyper greedy and is able to get away with that, or he goes for an all-in. He's also heavily reliant on ByuN making mistakes, and you never really want to be in that position where you're at this level of play hoping that, you know, a player of ByuN's caliber slips up and throws away some medevacs, or is overly passive, or isn't quite paying attention to a fight, and maybe takes a massive nova to the face. There's a slim chance that that does happen, but it is very slim. And GG well played with that. Congratulations here to ByuN, once again with hyper aggression. What I will say, something that interested me here, is that we feature some pretty large maps. We feature some pretty large maps, especially the 4-player swarm maps as well. Despite that, aggression still prevailed, right? We were still very aggressive here, from both sides, to be fair, in their own way, but ByuN and herO were able to get across the map, be very much so in each other's faces, and we didn't really get to slow things down. We didn't really get to experience a longer and later game. Not tonight, at least. Not tonight. And that's to be expected, right? Like, especially when maps initially hit the field, aggression is usually favored, just because players they know so little about the maps, and it can be a little bit more difficult to defend when it comes to walling, when it comes to positional play, when it comes to being aware of like where to place your observers and where to see like army rotations. It can be quite difficult, or it's a learning process, of course. Learning process. But thank you so much. Thank you so much to Nikita. Thank you so much to the Twitch Prime for 17 months. God, Papi God. ByuN the champion. See, Papi C. Congratulations. Congratulations to ByuN is going to be our champion this week, rising above. Typically, our champions are, you know, herO, Classic. They've been cleaning house when it comes to online tournaments. But this week, ByuN is our champion. Congratulations to ByuN, and shout out to all the other competitors, of course. A shout out to Perceive. If you recall, Perceive, he did win the random raffle earlier, so he does walk away a little bit richer here as well. And likewise, we had our top 4 with Percival, ByuN, herO, and Classic. Meanwhile, we're going to be wrapping up for the time being. We of course just wrapped up our evening broadcast here at Sunday evening, and you can see the rest of our week's schedule ahead of us. We have Code for Giants Cup tomorrow. We have StarCraft Evolution doubles. That's going to be the 2v2 tournament in the evening. We have RSL qualifiers this week. Remember, this week we have RSL and GSL qualifiers. Both qualifiers are this week, so all the qualifiers taking place. We have Pegasus Cup, more StarCraft Evolution. We have the Team Liquid Map Contest finalist stream that's going to be on Friday. Hopefully we have everything that we need by then. We're just kind of waiting on the judge scores and the judge feedback forms for the TLMC. We also have the Universe Show match on Saturday and Tuna Cup on Sunday. Again, Tuna Cup, weekly tournaments. Every single week we have more Tuna Cup action. If you enjoy the tournaments, then you can help support us via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, and you can help us grow our tournaments even further as well. You can see just under me, just under the webcam, you can see our current Patreon goal. You can see that we are close to our next goal already here. Again, that is to boost the prize pool even further for our players, and eventually we have a stretch goal for monthly finals. Hopefully we can get there one day, hopefully, for monthly finals for the Tuna Cup. Otherwise, for now, of course, still a weekly tournament. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Hope you all enjoyed the broadcast, and hope you look forward to seeing more of these new maps. Moving forward, we're going to be featuring all these TLMC maps as often as possible, as much as we can, until the voting concludes, and that'll be in a couple of weeks' time. So until then, we feature all the maps. So look forward to it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft stream raid. I also do apologize for being a little bit low energy today, especially during the classic ByuN series. I was passing out. I was during one of the breaks, I quickly was able to get some coffee and revitalize myself and get a second wind. Just recently, we have not been having a lot of sleep, of course. We'll try to rectify that moving forward. We'll do our best. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Who's live at the moment? Who is live? I see Ome Rainer. Rainer. He is playing some League of Legends. I see, Jake, No Regret, is playing some StarCraft 2. Oh my god. I see No Regret. I see Codebar is streaming. Wardy's hosting his tournament. TKL is casting. Indy's casting as well. We'll give some love to...
After a minus
Old mate Jake. Give him some love. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow, I should say. Tomorrow for some StarCraft Evolution, for some SC Evo, and for some Kofa Giants Cup, some Brazilian StarCraft. See you tomorrow. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. Hasta luego.